If you want to cop some merch, that link is in your friendly description down below. I think it even says cop some merch or to get a shirt or some merchandise, something along those lines. Appreciate your support. With that being said, I want to talk about tight ends today. In particular, I want to talk about Blake Jarwin today and not really tight ends as a whole. Like, I have nothing to say about Dalton Schultz or Sean McKeon or Charlie Tumpampano. Charlie's from Portland State. He was an undrafted guy. Sean McKeon from Michigan is an undrafted guy. And then we have like the guys that have been, established on this team. Dalton Schultz, who I don't think is going to be here very long because Sean McKeon might take his job because, it just goes back to that conversation of guys in the Garrett administration. You know what I mean? Like, if you hear, you ain't guaranteed no spot just because you were a part of that administration. Some guys are. But other guys, like the auxiliary guys, the role-playing guys, Dalton Schultz may not have a dog in the fight. But I do think Blake Jarwin is going to be super fantastic, and I'll tell you why. First of all, I want to get to fans' expectations of tight end. And I think fans should temper those expectations because when we talk about Blake, we talk about Blake in a very fan arrogant way. And what do I mean by that? We talk about tight ends like we talk about damn running backs, Like, we having a conversation about running backs, we could say something like, yeah, man, I want somebody that's, like fast and powerful that can catch the ball because we call those complete backs. And most running backs that are fast and powerful and can catch the ball. There's plenty of them. It's plentiful, right? When I see a lot of people talk about tight end or the Cowboys tight end position, they say things like, oh, well, Blake is soft or Blake can't block. I want my tight end to be able to block and to be able to be vertical and da-da-da, boom, boom, boom. So, that's cool, but you'll just be looking for that damn tight end. You'll just be searching away for that tight end for a couple of reasons. One, I think there's only like 5 tight ends that's worth a damn, that's in the league right now. Kelsey, Ertz, Kittle. I don't count Goddard by himself, so that's 3. Andrews over in Baltimore. And besides that, who else is like top tier for real, to where Austin Hooper can get big money in the tight end market because a lot of these guys aren't top tier for real. So besides that, like, who are these top tier tight ends that you're looking for? If you're looking for a linebacker that's good versus the run that can go cover, you can find those guys, right? Where do you find the super perfect tight end? Even if you get a guy like TJ Hockenson, right? Who was probably one of the more complete tight ends coming out in the draft. He may not be ready year one. You see what I mean? So now you're in a situation where, okay, if we draft a guy, they're not going to be ready, immediately. And we're in this Super Bowl run and we need guys to be ready immediately. So where do we go? And I think Blake Jarwin is going to be so fantastic for this team. First of all, you can ask the damn Giants how good Blake Jarwin is going to be for this team. And I just think Blake would have been fantastic last year, but Witten was kind of forced into that role, because Witten had ties, Witten had seniority, Witten had legacy, Witten had friends on this team already, so Witten was forced there. And Witten got 500 yards catching the ball and doing 2 things. Witten caught the ball and fell down, or he caught the ball and him and his tackler ran backwards until the whistle blew. That's what the hell Jason Witten did when he was here. And he got 500 yards doing that. To where if we look at the handful of highlights where we let Blake be Blake, Blake was running his ass down the seams. Blake was jumping over people. Blake was making catches in the back of the end zone. Blake was a mismatch problem. Why? Because Blake is faster than Witten. Right? There was even a point last year to where Witten wasn't really catching the ball, secure like that, right? And if we looked at Witten as anything, like, man, you may not be yak dude, but at least we can like get a third down chain moving situation from you. We can get secure hands from you. There was a point to where Witten couldn't move the chains because teams would stop at the chains because they knew wherever Witten caught the ball at, Witten would be right there. So teams would camp out at the chains, keep eyes on Witten. Witten would catch the ball, and nothing would happen afterwards. Nothing would happen afterwards, man. And Witten wasn't in this situation where he was this, oh, well, he ain't fast, but Witten big as hell. Nah, Witten wasn't jump balling people. Witten wasn't even a better blocker. Witten was a terrible blocker. Type that film session in on my channel and see what you find. Witten bad blocker. See what you find. You'd be surprised. See what you find. You know? So with Witten being a terrible blocker and a terrible yak guy and having drops on the back end, if you Blake Jarwin, all you got to do is catch the ball and go forward and do what you've been doing, and you good to go. You good to go, player. Take it over, my guy. You know? And this ain't a situation where, you know, Witten was, you know, one of the more prominent pieces to our offense, because at, you know, once upon a time, Witten was that guy in our offense where he was one of our lead dudes. Blake ain't got to be second option. He ain't got to be third option. We got a badass running back, so he ain't got to be fourth option neither. Blake just got to come in and take advantage of his matchups. That's all Blake got to do. Blake is like a 4'6" guy. If you a 4'7" linebacker, good luck to you. And if he going to be going up against Sam linebackers anyway, good luck to you. Go watch that old Giants film and see what it's like to not have a good 40 time against Blake Jarwin. Go see. And Blake may not be the best blocker in the world, but neither was Witten. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to put Blake Jarwin in a situation. To be fair, if we can talk about coaching for a minute, because it's the second video where I've been like, if Voch Lombardi was the coach. If Voch Lombardi was the coach, I wouldn't put Blake Jarwin in compromising positions to be run blocking anyway, right? If I want Blake Jarwin to be run blocking, I'm displacing him, I'm putting him out of slot, and I'm making Blake Jarwin block like some nickel corner. I don't understand the logic behind making Blake Jarwin block some defensive end, or even making Jason Witten block some defensive end for that matter. So if it's up to Voch, if it's up to offensive coordinator Voch, then hell no, we're not going to run that program. You ain't got to worry about Blake Jarwin being a fantastic blocker because, oh, we about to run the ball up the middle or something. I'm putting his ass at X receiver or something. I'm putting him away, right? Also, I did a film session on Mike McCarthy that I thought was interesting. Y'all go type in Voch Lombardi, Mike McCarthy, you'll find it. In Green Bay, they had a lot of sets to where the tight end was on the field, but he wasn't in line anyway, you know? And I think what that was trying to do was it was trying to create as many 5-on-5 blocking situations anyway, or 5-on-6, because you can block 6 people with 5, right? If we're running a situation where we're zone blocking 6 guys in the box and we're not blocking that backside defensive end anyway, then you're going to get 5 offensive linemen to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defensive box players, and we'll just read one guy. So our read would be 1 extra block. You know what I mean? So you can block 6 people with 5. And if it's a situation where I don't have to put Blake Jarwin in any danger, then cool. And you may ask, because I have a lot of very nuanced football fans on my channel, y'all the greatest and most intelligent, y'all may say, well, Voch, wouldn't that make you predictable? It's only as predictable as you make it, you know? If you're in an ace package or whatever, like an ace personnel set, and that can be any combination of whatever, as long as you have 2 tight ends or whatever, right? So it could be, 12, whatever. But just say that you got 2 tight ends on the field, right? Blake Jarwin and our blocking tight end, Blake Bell. If you go watch my Blake Bell film session, you'll just see Blake is more of a blocking tight end anyway, and he's damn good at it. Him and Sean McKeon are really good at that. So if you get a situation where you got Blake and Blake on the field, and you run a no huddle, and I'm offense coordinator Voch, if I want some kind of diversity, I could do this. I'll put Blake and Blake on opposite sides. Run the ball behind the better Blake, the better blocking Blake. So we'll run behind Blake Bell, right? No huddle. How you going to switch it up, Voch? We can get into a set to where we can put both tight ends on one side and, just line one up off the line of scrimmage. Run behind them or run to the weak side. Or we can displace Blake Jarwin, put him at receiver, put Blake Bell at tight end and run either way, It's a lot of ways you can do this. Or we could just stop being soft and just run behind Blake Jarwin, right? And there's ways you can put Blake Jarwin as your right tight end, run the ball to the right, and he not be responsible for lead blocking some defensive end, right? It could be some call communication. Hey, Lael, there's a defensive end lined up against me. I don't want to block him. Cool. Lael will take his appropriate steps. Blake will take what we call best release, to get away from that guy. Then Blake can climb and go block some safety or something. I feel good about all those, right? And I'm just some YouTuber. So whenever they get in those meetings or whatever, it's a lot of things you can do to hide Blake Jarwin as a blocker, right? It ain't like we need him to block 1,000 times a game. We just need you blocking on run plays 20 or so, 20 or 30 or so. Other times we'll just take you out the game and let Blake run tight end stuff. Cool. I think this stuff is, pretty easy to figure out, as long as you're not as, I'm some grandiose, I'm some grandiose play call or whatever. We're going to make Blake Jarwin block that defensive end and we're going to run right behind him. That's a mistake. And it was a mistake that the Cowboys made a lot because they were so caught up in what they do and they were so, entranced under the idea that Jason Witten was a good blocker that they just kind of did goofy shit. It is what it is. They did goofy shit. But, that administration's not here anymore, and I don't think there's a reason to really talk about him that much. But moving forward, also, can you throw the ball to Blake Bell? Sure, I think Blake Bell caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl or something like that. He didn't catch many passes over the season. Like, he caught, 18 passes over the season, something like that. Number nerds can help me out with that. But if you want to, mix up the non-predictability in your situation or whatever, sure, throw the ball to Blake Bell sometimes. But for the most part, I think he's going to be blocking people that Blake Jarwin was not blocking. But anyway, I hate clapping. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. I've been Voch Lombardi, VOCHLOMBARDI on Twitter and all social media platforms. I'm also going to try to get my Instagram popping up a little bit too. So that's the same name, Voch Lombardi. Shouts out to my Patreon people. Y'all fantastic. My PayPal, Cash App people, and my merch gang people. If you want to get one of these shirts, the link is in the description. Hey, man, and do what you need to do for the algorithm, man. I need all that help. So hit the like button and all that good stuff. Y'all hold it down for the Doski Woski and Peasky Whiskey, man. Till next time. Peace.